Alright, what is up, beautiful people, and welcome back to another Direct Strike Weekly Brawl tier list benchmarking with Fenix. We're on the new Weekly Brawl right now, and it looks like we got some mercenaries here. So, Brawl modifiers looks like we have Hybrid, and some Terran mercenaries, okay, and we also have Bountiful. Oh, bless this Brawl. I love this Brawl every time it comes up. It's my favorite Brawl here. So, I'm going to mark this as 2, and I'm going to mark you as 3. I'm going to toss you over there. So, with the Terran mercenaries, you typically don't want to buy any of the Marines, I don't think, because they don't scale nicely into late game, and they're permanent, so they're on your field all the time. Probably the best thing you want is probably Siege Breakers, to be honest. Invite away for the loss. Ooh, Kaz is up again. And, I don't know, I think for the Hybrid, here's what I'm going to say. I think 8-minute push is probably going to be the way. 8-minute push with a bunch of Hybrid destroyers. My teammate here has Nikara as an opener. It's not too bad if you have something to back her up, but you know, you don't. So what can I say here? Let's see. So what do I want to do as Phoenix? I think I just want to tech up here. I'm just going to be greedy. I'm going to tech here. I haven't actually placed down my cannon. Oops. Here we go. There's the Haka here. Okay. And this should research it. There we go. So I've just researched the hybrid, not hybrid, like the mercenary chambers up to max. So I can generate as much energy as possible per second. I kind of just want to build Siege Breakers because I think... I don't know. I think Hell's Angels are not too bad for Protoss Commanders because Protoss Commanders kind of struggle with the air domination themselves. But I'm against Raynor. And he's got some fire bats here.
What's the plan?
Well, that's going to be quite sad when I send him some Immortals to eat. I think I can counter Raynor by just going Immortals and maybe Legionaries. I think. However, do I have enough minerals for Siege Breakers? That's the thing. I don't actually know if like Raynor with hammer securities, I don't know if like they buff his health because you can just go super aggro bow Raynor. That'd be nuts. You just have extra hammer securities. But then like Hell's Angels are actually worse than Raynor Vikings if Raynor has, because they don't benefit from Raynor's Viking upgrades, so it's not as great. I'm gonna put down an Immortal here. Maybe I should have put down Fenix. That's okay. I'll have 2 Immortals here. There we go. Oh my god. Okay. It's okay if we lose a bit of tempo here. With Bountiful, you just want to be auto-gassing, essentially. Because Bountiful's gas is just too good. Oh my god, okay. I think I have a difficult time dealing with Raynor Bio. Maybe I have to use Disruptors. I'm gonna give it a try. Consciousness Awakened, baby. 150, that should be able to do it. I don't know if I have to micro these guys. I'll see if I have to. And I can buy a Siege Breaker. Oh my god, Swan is gonna be pretty good this week, I think. Because he can buff his Siege Breakers with the ridiculous amount of damage. And they have 200 health here. Oh my god. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna try and get another Disruptor. And then I'll see what happens. Cloaking Module. Actually, I don't think I need Cloaking Module here. No, I definitely need Cloaking Module. Oh my god, there's so many Oracles here. My allies just aren't dealing with the Oracles. Oh no. Okay, so I do need to micro this. Okay. Please deal with the Kerrigan. Please deal with those Oracles. Like, those Oracles are literally destroying us here. Alright, I'm gonna try and put this down here. I think if I got Phoenix himself, I could deal with the Oracles, I think. I can buy Mojo here. And then I gotta give him some Observers. There we go. By the way, guys, if you guys are new here to my channel and you guys enjoy Direct Strike content and you have not, well, been to my channel before, watch this video until the end for some juicy tier lists at the end. Oh no, they're gonna. Oh come on, suppression procedure. Oh no, Mojo he's blind. Oh my god. Is Mojo at least good against Marines? No, he's terrible against Marines. Oh my god. Kerrigan's just straight up ignoring the Mutalisk here. Oh no. Disaster. Okay. I probably should stop dropping down tanks, because the tanks are doing me nothing. God damn it, dude. Why? Why? Okay, anyways, yeah, if you guys want to keep up with Direct Strike content, I make it every single day of the week, along with some other stuff, too. So, if you guys want to see that kind of stuff, be sure to drop a sub to keep up. We're very close to 700 subscribers right now, and that is absolutely beautiful. Because that means we will be coming out with a live stream, and we'll be able to play with. I'll be able to play with you guys for a good amount of time. I know I shouldn't gas here, but I'm gonna gas because it's bountiful. I'm so greedy right now. This is so bad. Okay, let's see. Actually, my scouts are doing quite well. I'm gonna stop scanning. I'm gonna stop scanning here. Okay, so I think Rainer's just been scanning me, but like I'm not even against Rainer anymore. And Rainer has a bunch of tanks here, and tanks are ultimately gonna be able to do pretty well against me. Kerrigan's just trying to build Ultras and ignore the fact that she has a big problem with the Oracles, and that's really just screwing up the entire team. Because now I have to clean up her mess, and so does Tychus in some aspect, which really sucks. I could buy Hell's Angels, but I really don't want to. I really don't want to buy Hell's Angels.
What's the plan?
Uh-oh. There was a scout in that position already. Oh well, I messed up. Let's see. So the suppression procedure should do quite well here. Right? Yeah, like, I have to clean up this mess. I have to clean up all those Void Rays here. Actually, I'm able to deal with the Void Rays quite easily, actually. Which is great. But that means my ground army just kind of sucks here. Actually, it's doing quite well against Rainer. Rainer has a bunch of Vikings, which I don't know why he would have. I guess he has them for my scouts. Ooh, my disruptors are actually doing really good. They have 13 kills. Oh my god, they're doing better than my immortals. I think I might just buy disruptors then. What the hell am I doing? Have I been playing Phoenix wrong this whole time? Like, is the answer just disruptors? Is that the secret? Because if it is, I'm just gonna keep buying disruptors. Okay, I should probably buy Phoenix himself though at some point. At some point, I mean like soon TM. Okay, I'm gonna buy another scout here because you know what? I generally don't like to go air as a Protoss commander because like Protoss air is not really the most balanced. It kind of struggles sometimes. By sometimes I mean a lot of the times against most things. But I mean Kerrigan's Ultras are now pushing in, so I guess we figured out that problem. I guess getting some frame rates here for some reason. There we go. And I'm just gonna go over here. I still have a lot of hybrid. I think if I'm gonna put down hybrid, I'm gonna put down all the small hybrid, if anything. Let's see. My disruptors, are they considered armored? Oh, they're considered armored. That feels bad. Oh, okay. I mean, at least I can still drop their little Nova echoes here. I don't know why the scouts aren't like, you know, attacking the things that are actually dangerous here. Oh well, scout AI. Just AI in general, guys. Okay, I should probably buy Phoenix. Okay, I gotta stop buying things. Tychus just went pure Sams and it's like, is this a new build? Just Sam and Nikara? It looks like it. Oh my god, Tychus' Sams almost took the base. What the heck? Alright, well, I don't know, man. This is like the weirdest comeback I've ever been in. Because these tanks, I can tell you, are not going to clean up those Ultralisks. Alright. Wasn't that interesting. I dealt no damage that game. Mostly because this happened, like a leak, and then like that caused me to have to switch up my build a little bit. Like I wanted to optimize the build against Ground Rainer. That didn't work out as I planned. Oh, does Rainer have War Pigs and Hammer secured? Oh my god, why would you buy War Pigs? See, that's the thing. The War Pigs don't benefit from Rainer's armor buff. Because when you upgrade Rainer's armor on his units, they gain max HP, but the War Pigs don't benefit from that. And neither did the Hammer Securities, which isn't as good. God, I didn't kill anything. I was just a little bit behind Kerrigan, I guess, and stuff I killed. I don't know, man. Oh, these hybrid came out way too late. I didn't even use my hybrid, really. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's get on to the tier list. All right, and we are back. Let's get right into it. So for those of you guys, this is our game plan. We're going to talk about the auras, overall strategy, and commander rankings for those of you guys who have decided to skip forward to this part of the video. If you guys are not yet subbed and you're new here to my channel, be sure to drop a sub to keep up. Let's go. So we got MERC Compound as our modifier here. So you can hire one-time use powerful hybrid. And then you got Bountiful, which is Refineries grant double income. So this week, you can probably just auto gas your mind away because just double gas, it's just much better. And then Hill's Cantina, you can hire permanent Terran mercenaries. So I think there's two overall strategies this week. One of them is you can play for that 8-minute push, that juicy 8-minute push, optimal cheese, crush souls. The other one is you can just play normally and not cheese, and you can play commanders that scale well into late game. Because the commanders that are more expensive technically usually have a harder time starting up, but because you have a lot more money this time around, you're going to start up faster. So, right, so this week's tier list, I actually had a hard time figuring out if there was going to be a D tier commanders, because I feel like every commander this week has most of their weaknesses remedied in many aspects by the mercenaries that are available, mostly the Terran mercenaries. So in the S tier is actually Carax. So Carax, I think, is actually the god of the 8-minute push, because if your entire team is Carax, at the 8-minute mark, you guys have triple beam, right? So you drop your triple beam while you drop all the small hybrid, like the tier 1 hybrid, and accompanied with your wave, you will completely annihilate anything your opponent can send at you at the 8-minute mark. And so Carax is technically unbeatable this week if you guys play the 8-minute push. You basically can't lose, I think. But 8-minute push aside, I think in terms of the most powerful, I think is going to be Manx. Manx's EXP gain is tied to his refinery income, or just like his mineral income in general. And so if you have double gas, you're going to be gaining just a lot more EXP faster, which means your Royal Guards will charge it faster. And all I'm thinking for Manx this week is honestly just, you could probably just build like pure Manx bio, get boys, lings, Aegis Guards, and instead of having shock divisions, you can get the siege breakers, which I think actually do more damage than shock divisions, which is nuts. Not as tanky though, and don't have as much range. So you could probably go for something like that, like just pure Manx bio, drop in Aegis Guards for that maximum DPS, and then you don't have to buy shock divisions, and instead you can just buy actually, yeah, they're called siege breakers. Okay, yeah, I'm tripping out here because I think like at one point the mercenaries were called shock divisions. Anyways, next, Stetman. I think this week's stack breaker is going to be very powerful. Once again, I enjoy the stack breaker a lot, and you can now add in some tanks to spice up your stack breaker, so you can have Gary. You can probably get Ultralisk a lot earlier now as well, Banelings, and then you can also get tanks, and so that's a great combo. Next we have Tychus. So with Bountiful, Tychus technically is disadvantaged in the sense that your opponents will have more units out, which means you'll be taking more damage, so you really got to know what you're doing. But Tychus having more units, more access to other units is actually pretty good for him because he normally doesn't have units to access. So like you could grab I've seen Tychus grab like Marines and just like spice up his wave like that, which has been hilarious. I think though Banshees and Vikings would be very good because most of Tychus's hard counters are in the air. Like I'm thinking like Guardians, Broodlords, and you kind of have a little bit of a harder time against those, like Tempest as well. And so Vikings will just completely just demolish those units, and suddenly you're going to be able to get away scot-free for the most part. So yeah, Tychus has less counters. The effect of having mercenaries is that the weaknesses of your commander can be complemented very well. Like for example, Carax, instead of just having Phoenixes, you can also have Vikings, which will deal with capital ships. And so that'll make his air very powerful. So I would actually say Carax is pretty good this week. And next we have Dahaka. Dahaka's just good by virtue of the fact that he's super thick. And with more money to access, he has more resources and more units to put down. And you can probably opt for a aggro Dahaka composition, and then instead of going for Impalers to help you out with big ground units, you can just grab Siege Tanks instead of that. And your options against anti-air or just against air is actually better as well, because right now Dahaka's options against air units is literally just Hydralisk, which get shredded by ground, or any sort of big unit in the air. Mutalisk, which drop off pretty hard late game. They're pretty tanky, that's about it. And Tyrannosaurs, which are only good against like Mutalisks, I guess, like small air units. So and that in like Creeper Host with Aerial Burst Sex. So I think like I don't know, I want to say like a Mutalisk Hell's Angels composition might be really good. It might be terrible. Don't quote me on it, but I feel like it'd be hilarious. But yeah, I think the Haka is going to be pretty powerful here as well. Next we have Swan. So Swan can buff the damage dealt by I want to say Shock Division, the Siege Breakers, because Siege Breakers will benefit from his upgrade, the Maelstrom rounds, which increases all damage by his tanks by 50. So Swan tanks this week actually can do up to 170 damage, like the Siege Breakers, per shot, and then splash damage on top of that to anything. It's not like to armored only, right? So Swan, all he has to do is survive. And he's pretty good at that. So you can just build like a pure ground crusher comp this week. Dealing with air though might be a little dicey, but you know what? I think Swan can handle it with the extra dollars. For the extra dollars he's got. And next up we have Nova. I think Nova doesn't even need to buy the tanks. She can just buy Hell's Angels, and she has better tanks than the Siege Breakers. I would say, because of the extra range. And so Nova really doesn't have a good anti-air flyer that is cheap. Her like best anti-air flyer is literally the Liberator, which you have to micro because sometimes it decides to siege up and shoot ground units. But if you complement that with Hell's Angels, I think your air domination could be immaculate. I think. Next we have Artanis. So with Artanis, I'm just thinking of your classic ground crusher Artanis, which will be pretty strong, and then you can mix in some siege breakers, which is basically just like your next level of like after your scarabs, you have your siege breakers. That, or you can go pure air Artanis with Hell's Angels to escort your Tempest. I wouldn't recommend it this week though, I think, because the Tempest will probably get taken out by the enemy Hell's Angels quite nicely. That being said though, maybe like a Hell's Angel Fenix comp, just pure anti-air. Feels kind of gimmicky though, so I don't know. And then next in the 8th, we also have Vorzun. So Vorzun is probably one of the best air Protoss commanders, and now you give her access to some more air units, so that makes it excellent. I think, I don't actually know, because I think I would actually go Stalker Vorzun because it's more consistent and buy tanks. That, or I can go Stalker Vorzun and buy Duskwings to complement my Stalkers. Duskwings are quite powerful Banshees, and they do AoE damage in a line. Or you can just go pure like Air Vorzun, have Duskwings be your anti-ground, and have Corsairs be your anti-air. Or just complement your Corsairs with a bunch of Hell's Angels. Like I feel like a pure Air Vorzun this week is actually quite viable because of this extra added air units. Next, we have Alarak. So Alarak, because of the extra dollars, makes it so that his very expensive Wrathwalkers, which have been nerfed once again along with his Vanguards, are a little bit more affordable. They're still quite expensive, and that being said, I don't actually know. I think Alarak with Shock Divisions might be okay, but I feel like Hell's Angels would actually counter his Wrathwalkers a bit harder, so I think he has to build Hell's Angels of his own to protect his Wrathwalkers at the very least, if he goes Wrathwalkers. I don't think Alarak Destroyers would be that great, but I think Alarak Motherships would be pretty viable because of the double income, so you can buy the Motherships faster. Also, I think, and then Zagara, I think, with more money just means you can get the tier 3 faster and spam more abs, but then your opponents are also spamming more units, so it kind of evens out. But you can also spice up your wave with like Marines and Hammer Securities. I feel like those are probably the best bets for Zagara. Or, I think the most value bet though is still probably your Siege Breaker, because the Siege Breaker is constant damage on your wave if it survives your allies' wave and the wave after that. So that's why I like the tank so much. I don't like the Marines because like they just run in, they die, that's it. They don't contribute anymore. And next off, we have Raynor. So I think this week it's a Raynor Air Fleet. Once again, Raynor Bow it doesn't actually benefit. Raynor Bow's bonuses where you upgrade the unit's armor doesn't actually increase the health of the mercenaries you buy. So don't go Raynor Bow. Raynor in the air, however, you can buy Duskwings and more Duskwings and more Duskwings and more Duskwings. And you can complement them with your very powerful Vikings. You don't have to buy Hell's Angels like ever. You can also rush Hyperion. And because it's bountiful, you can rush it even earlier. I'm gonna see if I can pull off like a 5-minute Hyperion rush. Just boom, Hyperion, and then just bam, 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 Duskwings. Guaranteed clean. No one can deal with that. Next, we have Stukov. So, for this week, I think Stukov can probably also do an air fleet quite nicely because of his infested libs, and then he has better Banshees access because of the Dustwing. Obviously, he won't have as much. And ground Stukov just means that you can focus more on building ground troops and not as much on buying your infested siege tanks, because infested siege tanks cost a lot of money. You're basically buying like either 2 Diamondbacks or that infested siege tank. So it's like you can just go like pure Diamondbacks and Civies, and then buy Siege Breakers. And I feel like that would be a pretty good combination for a ground comp. Next we have Abathur, the stack master in terms of like the stall master. I feel like Abathur with lots and lots of Swarm Hosts this week, complemented by Siege Breakers maybe, would actually be good? Question mark? And then that, and also like, I don't actually know if Abathur Air has anything to gain from this, because Abathur Air is already very powerful. Like maybe he can complement his Devourers with his Hell's Angels, which makes just for like a complete air domination, and then you have Guardians in the back. Or maybe you can complement your Guardians' lack of AoE with Banshees. But yeah, I feel like Abathur just is going to be pretty well off this week as well. And then in the C, we have Fenix. So I think Fenix, if you're against a pure ground composition, you'll do very well this week, because Phoenix's ground is just so powerful. But once you take to the skies, I think Phoenix is going to struggle, because his only his only real viable anti-air unit is the Scout, and it's tanky, but now everyone has access to Hell's Angels, which are very useful at taking out Scouts. That being said, if all your opponent is building as Hell's Angels, then you'll probably still win. But if your opponent has like their standard air unit that they can build and Hell's Angels, I feel like you'll be in trouble. Because then like there's just more air to deal with, and Phoenix isn't that great in air. Like I think his anti-air potential is like medium. So yeah. Next in the C we have Kerrigan. So I don't know. Kerrigan with like just the pure Ultralisk Rush it worked pretty well for my allies, but at the cost of just ignoring everything else. I don't know what you would complement the Ultralisk Rush with. Like, you could probably complement with the Siege Breakers, but I feel like the Ultralisk would just charge in too far and cause the Siege Breakers to de-aggro because they push the units out of their range. However, I think Siege Breakers is probably still Kerrigan's best bet. And maybe Hell's Angels if you go Mutalisk, because the Hell's Angels can help complement the Mutalisk a bit better. Or Banshees if you just want to be anti-ground. But yeah. And in the C tier, like the last C tier, is actually Han and Horner. So, because everyone has access to some pretty good Vikings, I feel like Han and Horner is actually in a dicier position this week, because, yes, you want to be able to dominate the air as Han and Horner, you can spam Deimos Vikings, but because your opponents now have access to Vikings to contest your Vikings, their Vikings obviously aren't as good as yours, but everyone has them. So that means you can't have like a hard lockdown on the air anymore, or as hard as you used to be able to have before. That being said, though, I think Banshees is a great addition to like a Wraith Banshee comp. That's just the OG stealth bros. And yeah, I don't know. I still wouldn't count Han and Horner out because, you have more money, so you can have access to Assault Galleons a bit earlier. Maybe toss in a few Sovereign Battlecruisers if you're feeling crazy. But yeah, that's it for the tier list. I don't think there's any D tier commander this week. Like, to be honest, like I feel like every commander is like super viable this week. And yeah. Tell me what you guys think about the ratings, and if there's anyone I missed. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.